You gonna finish that? Artie stubs a blunt finger in the direction of my English muffin. We're sitting in a Travel America rest stop, one of the several that we visited on this west to east run. He likes to keep on schedule. I like to pause for an hour and get the blood flowing in my legs again after hours in the cab of the 18-wheeler, inhaling Artie's cigarette smoke and drinking warm, flat Coke. TAs are little shopping centers, catering to folks who live on the road, modern gypsies, with anything you can think of for your vehicle from oil to mud flaps to little bobblehead dashboard figures of football players and Jesus. The restaurants offer big man's meals, all-you-can-eats, chicken fried steak, biscuits, apple pie. How hungry can a man be who has sat in a rig all day, keeping busy with radio and Red Bull? No, take it. Unlike the majority of the people jammed into the booths and bellied up to the counter, I have no appetite, no desire to heap my plate with eggs and sausages. The good hot coffee is enough for me. I'm hoping that Artie will stay put long enough for me to visit the ladies' shower room. I'm riding shotgun with Artie Schmidt because I need to get back to the East Coast. He comes into my bar pretty regularly when he's not on the road. It was Candy's idea, hitching the ride instead of flying. She knew that round-trip airfare would make me have to choose between rent and food, and a one-way ticket might mean that she would have to find another girl. Besides, this way I could take Mack with me. The idea of being in my stepmother's presence without an ally was unthinkable. Going with Artie meant that I could take my dog with me, and there was no way I'd subject my Sheltie to being cargo. Frankly, it was Candy who convinced me that I had to go east in the first place. My stepmother didn't reach out often, or at all, so when she called to say my father was failing, it was almost impossible to get past the fact that it was Adele on the phone, rather than take in the fact of my father's dying. Wicked stepmothers are only in fairy stories, right? I'm here to tell you that Cinderella had it good compared to what that woman put me through. But Candy said I should go, that it was important. Family is important. Right. Despite my better instincts, I set my course eastward and signed on with Artie Schmidt. Mack, my blue merle Sheltie, right alongside me. The boyfriend who gave me Mack is long gone, but my little man stays, keeping his long, pointy nose at my heels wherever I go. Candy Kane, that's her real name, runs a decent tavern just outside the city limits of Seattle. I've lived pretty much everywhere. Starting when I walked out of the house the day after high school graduation, getting as far as Somerville, where I bunked in with a pair of roommates I found on a message board in a coffee shop, then down Interstate 95 to Brooklyn, where I might have stayed, then Florida, then Louisiana, and Texas. I have made my way as far west as California and as far north as Washington State, where I've stayed put longer than anywhere else. When I look at a map of the United States, touch all those big cities and little towns I've spent time in, I see that I've been moving in a slow, clockwise circle around the country. When we're getting the place ready to open, before the first happy hour customers come in and want to watch ESPN or CNN, Candy calls me over when Jeopardy is on. I can nail the geography questions. My point was never to return to my starting place, New Bedford, Massachusetts. I'm like the old-time whalers, seeking my fortune far from home. Instead of the ocean, I travel along major highways. Instead of ships, I own clunkers good for only a few thousand miles. Instead of whales, I'm not sure what I'm seeking. Ahab had revenge in mind. I just haven't found the one place that will hold me still. When I was young, I thought there would be a man to tie me down, but it never worked out that way. And no job was ever lifelong interesting. Not one has ever gotten me to sign on for the retirement plan. You might think that having a kid would have kept me in one place. or at least slowed me down, but even that failed to root me. Every time I pulled up stakes, I told my son that no matter where we were at home as long as we were together. For a long time that was true, but then, well, it wasn't. So, here I am, circling back to my starting point in a direct run down Interstate 90, New Bedford bound.